Hello friends, it's Chloe here. I have been wanting to invest in a cast iron pan for a long time now. However, getting a cast iron pan is much like getting a new pet. You have to ask yourself a lot of questions. Will I have time to take care of it? Will I be able to keep it clean? Will I take it out for walks? Will I be able to keep it happy and well loved? New year, new me, new cast iron pan. Today I will be using my cast iron pan for the first time, and I'm going to take you along this journey. Firstly, we'll be seasoning it, then we'll use it to cook, and finally, we'll clean it. Seasoning a cast iron pan. What is this and why do we do it? Well, cast iron pans are made of, you guessed it, iron. And the way that these pans are made is that iron and steel are melted down together in a 1540 degree furnace. Then it's poured into a mold where it solidifies into one piece, one hunk of a beautiful metal piece. It is immensely durable, perfect for bicep curls, and distributes heat evenly. Cast iron pans are often used to caramelize foods or cook meats because it can generate a really nice crust akin to TV commercials. The caveat is that iron is really brittle and rusts easily when in contact with water. Thus, we need to season the pan in order to create a protective coat that prevents rust and keeps the surface non-stick. Now this pan comes pre-seasoned, but I'm going to season it again myself. Before that though, I want to give the pan a quick scrub with some baking soda, and I'm going to reuse a tea bag.
Then I'm going to quickly rinse my pan, wipe it down, and then heat it up on the stove until it's dried completely.
Now I'm adding some canola oil. Flaxseed oil works really well for this too, but I only have canola oil, so I will use that.
Now I'm going to take a paper towel and liberally coat the inside of the pan, as well as the back and all the appendages. Do be careful as the pan is still hot. Now I'm going to take a second paper towel and wipe off any excess oil. I have been preheating the oven at the highest setting. I'm going to put a flat sheet pan in to catch any oil drippings, and then put our pan in the oven upside down. At this point, two chemical reactions will take place. Polymerization and carbonization of the oil to the pan will give it a slick, shiny coating to form on the surface.
Our pan was heating in the oven for over an hour. Then I turned the oven off and let the pan cool. Fair warning though, while it was in the oven, I could smell a heavy smoke smell, and I had to turn on the exhaust fan and open the window. It's a little bit hot to the touch now, but let's have a look. I personally don't see any visible differences. Perhaps it's a little bit darker in color. Now let's put our cast iron pan to the test. Today we will be making a very simple potato hash recipe that only requires 3 ingredients. I have my 1 diced onion here, 3 boiled potatoes that I've already diced, and 2 eggs. I also have my seasonings and oil. I'm first going to turn on my induction burner and wait for the cast iron pan to get a little hotter. Then I'm going to add some oil. The oil is hot enough now, so I'm going to add my potatoes. Now I'm going to add my onions. I'm going to leave my pan undisturbed for a while. Now I'm going to just season my potatoes and onions with a little bit of salt, pepper, and garlic powder. Now that my potatoes and onions are cooked through, I'm going to create 2 divots in order to crack my eggs into. Now that my eggs are cracked, I'm going to put it into my preheated oven for about 10 minutes. So it's been 10 minutes and I've taken my cast iron pan out of the oven. I'm just going to garnish my masterpiece with a little bit of chopped green onion, courtesy of my plant Betty.
I'll get myself a good serving of this.
Okay, now I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to eat it with ketchup because I like ketchup with my potatoes. Potatoes are cooked all the way through. I've got some crispy bits as well. Now let's break into the egg. Ooh, I hope it's gonna be runny. Oh, not runny. I probably did it for too long. Didn't quite get a runny egg, but there's always a next time to try. So I'm just gonna finish this plate of food off and then we'll go to cleaning the cast iron pan. Okay, now that we've eaten to our heart's content and we have happy bellies, it is now time to clean off all the flavor bits from our pan. But first, I'm going to drink some tea. Now the pan has cooled down a little bit, I'm going to add some baking soda
And use the tea bag to scrub off as much of the food bits as possible. The baking soda essentially acts as an abrasive. There are 3 rules of thumb for cleaning. The first, lukewarm water. We follow the Goldilocks rule of not too hot and not too cold. Second, no soap, as it ruins the seasoning. You can use steel wool or scrapers that aren't too abrasive instead. Third, dry, dry, dry. Iron is prone to rusting, so wipe it down and pop it on the burner. Now we reseason with a little bit of oil, making sure to coat all the surfaces evenly. The pan is porous, so as it cools down, it will soak up the oil and preserve its nonstick feature.
And that's it, folks. Our cast iron pan is now ready to go for its next use. Now for final impressions. I thought this pan was fairly easy to use, that it was able to generate a good crust on our potatoes, and it had the versatility to be able to put in the oven to cook our eggs. Although I did overcook our eggs, I do think that this recipe could be used again. Overall, I do really appreciate the versatility and heft in this pan. I do find that there will be a lot of maintenance involved with trying to take care of it. I do foresee that this pan will be very useful for fighting off any home invaders and to try lots of new recipes in the future. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to gently tap the like button below, leave a comment, and subscribe.